Hello and happy Easter, everyone. My name is Traci Odea, and today I am introducing your poetry challenge for Easter weekend. This challenge is based on a hot cross bun. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to grab a hot cross bun. I have mine here. It is hot out of the oven, and I'm going to put some butter on it because I hear that's a requirement. I am not normally an eater of hot cross buns. I'm an American, so it's not something that we really do. This is probably about the third one I've had in my life. Probably some of you have had 3 already today. Okay, so while the butter melts, what I want you to do is to take a pen and paper and write down some different adjectives to describe the hot cross bun. So basically, we're going to start with color. Look at the colors of the hot cross bun. You can look at the inside, the outside, look at all the different colors that you see, and be creative. Not just standard rainbow colors, but go think outside the box a little bit. Maybe like cork, brown, crust, or something like that. Okay, so feel free to pause this video at any time if your lists keep going and take time to write as many adjectives as possible. The more words we have, the more we can work with at the end. The next thing I want you to look at is the size. What is the size of your hot cross bun? And this is actually an opportunity to maybe use a metaphor or a simile. Is it as big as, I don't know, a shoe? Is it bigger than a bread box? These are some normal things and sort of cliches that people might use to describe size, but try to be, again, a little bit more creative. Maybe look at some things around your house to see if it's a similar size to something around your house. Okay, the next thing we're gonna look at is the shape. What is it shaped like? Again, you can use metaphors or similes, or you can just stick with the basic shapes. Mine isn't really a basic shape, so I would have to be a little bit creative. It sort of looks like a really fat duck. Okay. The next thing, texture. Obviously it has a texture to it, and mine, because I toasted it, might have a different texture than yours if you didn't toast it. So I'm gonna sort of feel the texture, see what it feels like, write down some words that I think fits that texture. Also, when I was doing that, I noticed that there was a sound. So one of our adjective categories is sound, so you might also want to take this opportunity to write down some adjectives that describe sound. The next we're going to move on to is smell. So this is probably one of my favorites. There's something in there that's surprising to me that I wasn't expecting. I don't really know what the ingredients are in a hot cross bun, so I'm not too sure what that is, but I know what it smells like, so I'm going to write that down. Next one is weight. How heavy is it? It's actually heavier than I thought, especially now that it's toasted and covered in butter. So maybe this is another chance to think of similes of how heavy it is. Does it weigh like the same amount as something else that you know of? You might want to pick up some other things in your house to see if it weighs the same as that. Like, does it weigh as much as my cup of iced tea? Does it weigh as much as my butter knife? Compare them. So you could do that, or you could just say it's heavy, it's light, it's, I don't know, fat, chubby, whatever. And the last thing we want to look at is patterns. Are there any patterns on here? So obviously there's the main pattern. And then are there any other patterns that you see, maybe in the dough or in the toasting or in how you cut it? So there might be other patterns as well. Okay, so now that you've got your word bank, you've got that huge list of adjectives that you can play with. What I want you to do is to write a poem about yourself. So a self-portrait poem using as many of these adjectives as you can. Be as creative as you can and have as much fun with it as you can. When you finish writing them, can you please post them to social media and tag Stay Home Jersey, Stay Home JSY, and let us know, and we'll read them all. I look forward to reading them, and we'll share them. I want to thank the JEP, the Government of Jersey, and Sarah Felton for letting me participate in this, and happy Easter, everyone. I hope you have a great 4-day weekend. Bye.